Hello everybody, Brad Johnson here. In this video, I'm going to be talking about fear can never invite in the truth. So looking into this title, it's pretty self-explanatory. I have talked about, especially again going into 2020, moving here now, presently into 2021, that everything that's happening right now is all part of something greater. Everything that's taking place on the planet right now is all part of something far more beautiful, far more incredible, far more amazing than we can actually perceive. And some may say, well, Brad, if that's true, then why is all this stuff happening? Why is there such an outpouring? Why is there such a gigantic feeling of suppression taking place upon the planet? Because we have to pass through this storm. The storm has to be passed through. You cannot go around it. And so with this storm that has been here for quite some time, a lot of us go into this state of fear. And I talk to some people and they say, well, Brad, I know what's going on. I understand what's going on. I said, do you really? Do you really know what's going on? Yeah, I know there's just all this uproar and stuff like that. But, oh man, I just wish it would get done. Oh man, I'm just getting so sick and tired of it. Oh man, it makes me feel anxious. You know, I just see what my family is going through. I see what my friends are going through. I see what people are going through. It just makes me nervous. It makes me anxious. I admit maybe I'm quite afraid about what's happening. And that's okay. It's not to say that fear does not have its own place, because again, it's just a reminder that needs to come up. But if you're still feeling afraid about what's happening right now, you're not allowing the truth to be invited into your life. You're not allowing the truth to actually come into the heart and say, okay, I know that right now it's a bumpy time. I know right now it's a transitional period. I know that we have to go through this storm. And I see on the other side of what's ahead past that storm, what is going to come here on the earth. And it's going to be a new earth. It's going to be a new dawning. It's going to be a new beginning. Everything's going to reset. Everything's going to shift. Yes, that's true. But again, if you're still in that fear, you cannot invite this realization in. Which means what we have to do is let people go through their own trials and tribulations. We know that we want to help so many people. We want to help our family, even if they're super stubborn. We want to help our friends, even though they're super stubborn. We want to help people online, even though they're super stubborn. We want to give all this help. We want to give all this assistance. But then again, it becomes an addiction. Come on, guys, you got to see what's happening here. Can you not see what's happening? All these agendas, everything's spinning out of control. Can't you see it? Can't you see it? Can't you see it? Can't you see it? And you do not know the truth. Right? You're looking at all these things and you're basically just creating this battle. You're creating this battle unaware that everything is already taking care of itself. The world is already taking care of itself. The populace is already taking care of itself. Right? When you look at the collective is not stupid. The collective is in that sense the whole degree of what has brought all these things forward. It knows. But again, if we start getting completely overworked, overloaded, we get burnt out, we get fatigued, we get afraid, we get anxious, you do not invite in truth because you do not see what this really means. It's like I've said before, I don't really care about the current events that are taking place on the planet. I share it with you guys because you want me to, and I'm happy to oblige that. But I do not care about it, because I already know what's ahead. You look at it with such a calm, centered heart, and you know this is just all part of something better. It's us clearing out the cancer within the body of the earth. It's been there for a very, very long time. And now we are realizing that it's there, and we are being these powerful white blood cells, and through our own way of just acting naturally, we go in and we cut out that cancer. That's it. You're following the natural rhythm. You're following the natural impulse of what the heart is telling you to do. And we all have our own duties. We all have our own responsibilities. But what we do not have is that feeling of obsessive worry to make it feel like you know what is actually going on. Like you know the truth when you're in fear. Fear and truth are not compatible. Anxiety and truth are not compatible. Conflict and truth are not compatible. You stay within lack. You stay within hardship. You stay within the darkness by embracing so much fear. My family's not doing this. My friends aren't doing this. Why aren't people just waking up and realizing the whole agenda is just a big scam? Why is it for you to know those things? Why do you feel like you have to have an answer for that? Because all you're doing is you're playing with lack. You're playing with more lack because you're constantly trying to figure out aggressively why other people aren't getting it. And so all you're doing is you're bringing more and more of these people who are going to be argumentative, highly debating, very harsh, aggressors that are going to be in your reality, and now you're going to feel like you're the victim because you're trying to stick it down their throat and saying, hey, aren't you aware of what these agendas represent? Aren't you aware of what's going on here? The government, etc. People will know. They will know in their own time, whether you talk to them about it or not. You've already shared your piece. You've already shared your perspective pertaining to that. Let it be. Let it digest. By you continuing to battle, by being aggressive and saying, well, it's me versus them, or it's us versus them, that's going to lead you nowhere. That's lack. And that's fear. And that's aggression. And that's conflict. And that's harshness. And that's chaos. That invites in no truth. This is why I say there's those who feel they know what's going on, but they still surround themselves in fear. If you're afraid during this time, you don't know what's going on. Because if you do know what's going on, there's no emotional reaction to it. It's like going to a magic show, and you already know how the magician does his tricks. You're already aware that the cards are up his sleeve. You're already aware that there's a rabbit in the hat. You're already aware of the sawing the woman in half. The woman's not even in the box. Right? You know all these things. You're not like this, biting your nails, saying, oh my God, I hope another woman's going to get hurt. I hope this isn't going to lead to tragedy. Why would you react like that when you already know how the magic show happens? So why would you react when you already know, when you think you know what's going on? I think I know what's happening, and blah, 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 but I still have this fear. Then you don't know what's going on because you're still reacting. You're still reacting to this, and everything is playing itself out naturally as it needs to. The cycles are continuing to spin. They're continuing to turn, and everything leads to a climax because those who have awoken, those who have realized, are all in position. It's inevitable. We're all going to be in the positions we need to be. But the position that you do not need to be in is fear. The heart is always going to put you where you need to be. But what happens is we contaminate that. We contaminate that with our own fear because it does not invite in truth. We have to be made aware of this. This is why I give away a lot of this free content on YouTube with the BCR technique, with the upcoming cord removal healing. These are all free tools to helping you calm, to helping you go into center, to helping you relax, to say, yes, you know what, this is all just part of a big cleanup operation. We're seeing the parasites fight back, we're seeing the cancer cells fight back, but there's nothing for them to obtain victory with because they're being depleted. And we're just doing what we need to do. We follow the heart, we work together with people, we help people. Maybe we do a little bit of traveling, maybe we talk to our friends and family. Maybe we're following new lines of work because our old work was compromised, because that was not where we were supposed to be in the first place. The universe never forgets about you. God never forgets about you. So again, this is why we hang on to things with the ego. Oh, but if I lose this job, I'm not going to have a paycheck. I'm not going to make all this money. Did you ever like that job? No, of course not, but I'm making all this money. Well, that's exactly why you're losing it. Because again, that is just materialism. That's you just living at the bottom of the barrel, wanting to get paper bills into your bank account. And that's not following a heart path. As I've said, if you are not following a heart path, your world is going to fall apart before your eyes. This is not about the greedy. This is not about the selfish. This is not about the lusting. Because if you're any of those things, if you're deep in fear, entrenched in fear, trying to survive for another day, that's not going to cut it. You have to let the old fall away. You have to let these base things, these base foundations that are corrupt to the bone, because you have given so much of your power to this programming, you have to let them die. Because this is what Spirit is trying to tell you. We want to move you into something better. We want you to be part of something greater. We want you to open up your heart and be with these people, and to start this new service, and to make a new path open up for yourself. Yeah, but money, but money, but money, but money. And that's what holds us back. But greed, but greed, but greed, but lust, lust, lust. Fear, fear, fear. Obsession, obsession, obsession. You are never going to know the truth if you are living at the base level of life, where it becomes animalistic, where it becomes materialistic. That's not what the new world, the new earth, is going to represent. You have to be heart-centered. Otherwise, you're not going to be here. Simple as that. You're going to go down with the ship. Just like I've used so many times with the Titanic analogy, right? Playing the violin, it's okay. My government's going to save me. It's okay. Right? Singing that song while the ship's going up here and slowly going down. So again, the base lusts, everything that represents that very heavy foundation, isn't going to last. It's true, we do need a foundation, but we need to build upon it. We need to build that pyramid. We're not keeping it as a prism. So again, if you are in fear, you do not know the truth. You do not know what's actually going on. People with a clear heart, who understands exactly where they're meant to be, who can see the signposts, they're the ones that really know what's going on. They know that this is a cleansing time. They know that this is cleanup time. They know that it's time to sweep the floors. We got to open up the rug. We got to pull the rug out. We got to clean up all the debris out of there. Earth is going through a very deep cleansing, house cleaning situation. And there's vacuums, and there's mops, and there's brooms, and there's dustpans, and we're cleaning everything out. The collective is cleaning up because we are seeing a split. That's what's happening. We're seeing this old veil being pulled off this earth, and that old earth and everything it represents, that old veil that represents the filth, the corruption, the debris, the disease of that lower base reality, is not going to be here for much longer. I talked about in 2020, December 21st, the point of no return, where the point of no return is saying that you are going to, but depending upon the person, elevate yourself up further past this whole situation, because there's no going back to the old world. This is what the point of return means. Once we've crossed that threshold, there's no going back to the way things were. There's no going back to the old world. And those who are still very much stingy, and again lustful, pertaining to that old world, are going to watch themselves crash and burn because they are not willing to change. And even if they do have an idea to change, it's going to be very difficult for them. It's going to be a very severe uphill climb because they've taken too much time. Whereas those who are doing some of the cleaning, they are doing some of the inner work, they're now going to make an incredible ascent very quickly. Right? So this is the idea. Person who's very greedy, very selfish, very lustful, right? 2020, December, point of no return. Shh. Person who's working on themselves, working on their heart, feeling that compassion, moving themselves in new directions, gladly changing themselves, shh, going all the way up. Because that is the new earth that we're entering. It is a heart-centered earth. It is not lust-centered. It is not greedy-centered. That earth is dying. That is the veil. That's the filthy skin that's being peeled off the planet right now. And it will not last much longer. Because this is the split. This is the splitting of worlds. And that was the exact time to when it was happening. This physical split that's taking place, December 21st, 2020. The point of no return. The splitting of the world. That skin being peeled off. And it's being peeled off right now. And all that filth is not going to be part of our life anymore. And anyone that is completely attached to that filth will go with it. This is the universal cycle. This is the decision. The divine decision that is made. The filth cannot remain. So get out of the filth. Get out of the fear. Come here. Go into your calmness. Go into your center. Go into your heart. Go into your epicenter. And look at these things pertaining to fear, because you know how to clear it. If you're watching my channel, if you're looking at the BCR technique, if you're going to be looking into the upcoming cord removal healing, you'll know how to do this. A lot of it is just talking things out at the same time, writing these things out at the same time. Until you are completely aware, then it really has no more meaning for you. You talked it out. You've cleared it out. And you realize that through the peace that I feel within myself, therefore reflects outwards. And everything in my life is now peaceful because I'm at peace. Now I can invite in truth because that's the resonance of truth. Peace is a requirement for that. Not fear, not chaos, not conflict. Because you will never know the truth by being in those. But you will be in the truth by being at peace, by being calm, by being centered, by being in the heart space, by living from the inside, by realizing the true nature of the non-dual. That is what's going to bring you into great truth. That is when you're going to see, yep, I do see the signposts right now. I do see what this is leading up to. I don't care about the scripts that are being read by politicians. I don't care about the current agenda that's happening on the news or the media sources. They're reading scripts. They're just actors. They're actors on a stage. They're reading teleprompters. This is all fake. Yes. So I'm going to turn it off. Psst. That's not important. It's just a play. It's a movie. And now I go inside. Now I start cleaning out all those cords. I start cutting away all those conflicts. And now here I am in the heart of my love. And now everything shines. Now everything relating to truth shows itself beyond words, beyond images, beyond object. It's just here. That's when you truly know. That is when you know what's really going on. And I speak from experience because that's where I am. I look at all these things that are happening in regards to people showing me these reports and showing me these articles. Like, big deal, guys. Big deal. It's all part of the shift. It's all part of us getting out of this tunnel. It's all part of the cleanup. And it's leading to brighter times. Because that's where we're going. I see everything that's happening right now really positive, really transformative, really amazing. Because this is what's leading us into that new earth I've spoken about. We're already there. We're just going and walking through the storm as it comes. So, eliminate that fear. Clear it out. That fear is only there to tell you something. It's to tell you there's insecurity. It's to tell you there's all this debris within yourself, this harshness, this conflict. It needs to be cleared. And once it's cleared, all the cobwebs are gone. You now see with clear eyes. And you feel with a clear heart. Please remember this, and you will know the truth. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll speak to you again in another perspective of the now. Be well.